3,000 people pack the wooden bleachers, their voices a restless tide of excitement, skepticism, and raw energy. The heat is suffocating, clinging to every surface, making the crowd shimmer in the haze beneath brutal overhead lights. In the VIP section, Thai royalty recline on red silk cushions, gold trim glinting in the 3,000 people pack the wooden bleachers, their voices a restless tide of excitement, skepticism, and raw energy. The heat is suffocating, clinging to every surface, making the crowd shimmer in the haze beneath brutal overhead lights. In the VIP section, Thai royalty recline on red silk cushions, gold trim glinting in the glow. Below them, gangsters and gamblers exchanged hand signals, placing bets with furtive glances. Tourists clutch cameras, eager to capture a piece of history. Martial artists from across Asia have traveled for this night, drawn by rumors of an undefeated champion and a demonstration that promises to challenge tradition itself. Bangkok, February 1971. The city pulses with life, neon lights flickering in the humid night as tuk-tuks rattle through the crowded streets. But tonight, all eyes are on Lumpini Stadium, a sacred arena where legends are made and broken. The air is thick with anticipation, sweat, and the scent of liniment oil. The ring sits at the center of it all, a stage for violence and artistry. The canvas is stained with the ghosts of past battles, the ropes worn smooth by 1,000 gloved hands. Tonight, the main event is not a title defense, but something more dangerous, a test of pride, skill, and the boundaries of respect. 3,000 people pack the wooden bleachers, their voices a restless tide of excitement, skepticism, and raw energy. The heat is suffocating, clinging to every surface, making the crowd shimmer in the haze beneath brutal overhead lights. In the VIP section, Thai royalty recline on red silk cushions, gold trim glinting in the glow. Below them, gangsters and gamblers exchanged hand signals, placing bets with furtive glances. Tourists clutch cameras, eager to capture a piece of history. Martial artists from across Asia have traveled for this night, drawn by rumors of an undefeated champion and a demonstration that promises to challenge tradition itself. The ring sits at the center of it all, a stage for violence and artistry. The canvas is stained with the ghosts of past battles, the ropes worn smooth by 1,000 gloved hands. Tonight, the main event is not a title defense, but something more dangerous, a test of pride, skill, and the boundaries of respect. The crowd buzzes with questions. Can a woman truly dominate in a world built for men? Will the Iron Rose prove her worth, or will the night end in humiliation? A single spotlight cuts through the darkness, illuminating the ring. The announcer's voice booms, promising a spectacle no one will forget. Somewhere in the crowd, a small man sits quietly, unnoticed. The audience doesn't know it yet, but history is about to be rewritten. This is the night when laughter will turn to silence, when legends will be tested, and when a random volunteer will change everything. If you blink, you'll miss it. If you doubt, you'll be left behind. This is the story you'll wish you had witnessed with your own eyes. In the heart of the ring, beneath the harsh white lights, stands Nong Mai, the Iron Rose of Thailand. Her presence commands the stadium, a living legend whose name is spoken with awe and a hint of fear in every gym from Chiang Mai to Bangkok. At just 25, she has become a national icon, her story woven into the fabric of Thai pride and martial tradition. Nong Mai's journey began far from the roaring crowds and golden trophies. She was born in a small, dusty village outside Chiang Mai, where opportunity was scarce and expectations for girls were even scarcer. Her father was a rice farmer, her mother a seamstress. Money was tight, but spirit was abundant. As a child, she watched the local boys train in Muay Thai, their shouts echoing through the fields. She mimicked their movements in secret, practicing kicks against banana trees until her shins bled and her mother scolded her for torn skirts and bruised legs. At 17, she entered her first fight, unofficial, unsanctioned, and against a boy 2 years older. She won by knockout. Word spread quickly. There was a girl who fought like a storm, who moved with grace and struck with thunder. Soon, local trainers took notice. She was invited to train at a real gym, where she slept on the mats and cleaned floors in exchange for lessons. Every day was a test of will. She endured grueling sessions, broken bones, and the constant sting of doubt from those who said a woman's place was not in the ring. But Nong Mai refused to yield. Her discipline was relentless. She ran before dawn, shadowboxed in the midday heat, and sparred with anyone brave enough to face her. Her body became a weapon, arms like iron, legs like baseball bats, shins hardened by years of striking wood and stone. Scars marked her journey, each one a testament to sacrifice and survival. By the time she was 20, she was already a champion. By 25, she was undefeated. 70 professional fights, 70 victories, 32 knockouts. She had beaten men and women alike, shattered records, and silenced critics. Her nickname, the Iron Rose, captured her essence. Beautiful but deadly, elegant but unbreakable. She stands in Lumpini Stadium. The pressure is different. This is not a title defense. This is a demonstration, a spectacle designed to prove that Thai women deserve respect in the world of Muay Thai. The promoters want to show the West that tradition can evolve, that a woman can be as fierce and skilled as any man. Nong Mai feels the weight of expectation pressing down on her shoulders. She knows that one mistake, one slip, could unravel everything she has built. Still, her confidence is unshaken. She moves with the poise of a queen, her red silk shorts and gold-trimmed Mongkon headband catching the light. She performs the Wai Kru, the ritual dance of respect, honoring her teachers and ancestors. The crowd watches in reverent silence, aware they are witnessing something sacred. But beneath her calm exterior, a flicker of uncertainty lingers. This is not a fight she can prepare for. The volunteer will be chosen at random. There are no tapes to study, no strategies to plan. Anything could happen. For the first time in years, Nong Mai faces the unknown. As she bows to the crowd, she remembers the girl she once was, the outsider, the underdog, the fighter with nothing to lose. Now she is the champion with everything at stake. The Iron Rose stands ready, determined to defend not just her record, but the honor of every woman who dreams of stepping into the ring. Tonight, she will show the world what it means to be undefeated. Tonight's event is more than a spectacle. It is a statement. The demonstration at Lumpini Stadium is not about belts or titles, but about breaking boundaries that have stood for generations. For centuries, Muay Thai has been a man's world, its rituals and legends shaped by male champions and their epic battles. Women, if mentioned at all, are footnotes, rare exceptions never the rule. But Nong Mai is here to change that narrative, to prove that skill, heart, and discipline know no gender. The promoters have orchestrated this night with a clear agenda. They want to show the world, especially the Western journalists in the front row, that Thai women can fight and win on the grandest stage. They want to silence the whispers that say Nong Mai's victories are less meaningful because her opponents are women, that her record is padded, her legend inflated. The demonstration is designed to be a public answer to private doubts, a challenge to the old guard who believe tradition cannot bend. But the crowd is not easily convinced. Skepticism hangs in the air, thick as the smoke from 1,000 cigarettes. Some spectators mutter that this is a publicity stunt, a way to sell more tickets. Others scoff at the idea that a woman, no matter how skilled, could truly stand equal to the men who have bled on this canvas. The gamblers are restless, unsure how to place their bets. The old trainers shake their heads, arms folded, waiting for the moment when reality will reassert itself. Yet beneath the cynicism, there is a current of curiosity. What if the Iron Rose is as good as they say? What if she can beat anyone, regardless of gender? The possibility is both thrilling and unsettling. For some, it is a threat to the natural order. For others, a glimpse of a new future. Nong Mai feels the weight of these expectations, but she does not flinch. Her eyes scan the crowd, searching for the right volunteer. The rules are simple. Anyone can be chosen. Man or woman, young or old, fighter or spectator. It is a true test of Muay Thai's universality, a chance to prove that technique and spirit matter more than size or reputation. The announcer's voice echoes through the stadium, inviting volunteers, but few are eager to meet the Iron Rose in the ring. People avert their eyes, shrink into their seats, hoping not to be chosen. The tension builds with every passing second, the suspense palpable. Who will she pick? Will it be a seasoned fighter, a brash tourist, or someone entirely unexpected? As Nong Mai steps down from the ring and begins her slow walk through the crowd, the stadium holds its breath. Every eye follows her, every heart beats faster. In this moment, tradition teeters on the edge of transformation. The next few minutes will decide whether the old ways endure, or whether a new legend will be born. Nong Mai steps down from the ring, her feet landing softly on the arena floor. The crowd parts before her, a living tide of anticipation and anxiety. She moves slowly, deliberately, her eyes scanning faces, some eager, some fearful, most trying to disappear into the shadows. The stadium is a mosaic of humanity. Gamblers clutching betting slips, tourists with cameras, local fighters in gym jackets, and families with children perched on their knees. Every person is a possible opponent. Every heartbeat a silent plea not to be chosen. She passes Section A. Too many drunken locals, their laughter too loud, their bravado masking nervousness. Section B is a sea of tourists, sunburned and wide-eyed, whispering in a dozen languages. Section C is mostly women and children, their faces a mix of admiration and apprehension. But in Section D, something changes. Here the air is different. The men and women are quieter, their postures straighter. These are martial artists, fighters who came to learn, to observe, to understand. Nong Mai's gaze lingers. She feels for something she can't quite name, a presence, a stillness, a sense of gravity. Then she sees him. Row 12. A small man, Asian, maybe Chinese, dressed in simple dark clothes. He sits quietly, hands folded, eyes fixed on the ring. He's not drinking, not talking, not fidgeting. He is simply present, as if he belongs to another world entirely. She stops, points directly at him. You, come down. Her voice is clear, cutting through the murmurs. The crowd turns to look, necks craning, whispers rippling outward. The man does not react immediately. He doesn't stand, doesn't acknowledge the attention. For a moment it seems he might refuse, but then, as if waking from a meditation, he rises. The people around him nudge and whisper, some with concern, others with amusement. She picked you. Stand up, you have to go. Next to him sits Dan Inosanto, a close friend and fellow martial artist. Dan's face tightens with worry. He leans in, whispering urgently, "You don't have to do this." The chosen man shakes his head, a small, reassuring smile on his lips. "It's fine," he replies, voice calm and steady. Dan watches, torn between pride and anxiety, as his friend steps into the aisle. As the man makes his way down the bleacher steps, the laughter grows. People call out in Thai, "Run away! It's not too late." Some jeer, others simply shake their heads. To them, he looks like a tourist who wandered into the wrong event. A skinny, unremarkable figure in street clothes, no visible muscle, no fighting stance. Nothing to suggest he belongs in the ring with the champion. The contrast is almost comical. The Iron Rose, undefeated and imposing, versus a man who looks more like an accountant than a fighter. Journalists scribble notes, cameras flash. The story writes itself. The undefeated female champion versus a random, overmatched volunteer. The crowd is certain of the outcome. Some feel pity. Others relish the coming spectacle. No one expects anything but a quick, decisive demonstration. But as the man reaches the ring, something shifts. He moves with a quiet confidence, his steps measured and fluid. He does not look at the crowd, does not acknowledge the laughter. He climbs the steps, ducks through the ropes, and stands in the center of the ring, eyes calm, posture relaxed. The promoter approaches with a microphone. "Sir, what is your name?" The man takes the mic, his voice soft but clear. "Bruce Lee." The name means nothing to most in the stadium. No one cheers, no one gasps. Just another Chinese name, another unknown. But Dan Anosanto, watching from the crowd, knows better. He feels the tension in the air, the sense that something extraordinary is about to happen. The crowd sees only a mismatch. Dan sees the beginning of a legend. As Bruce Lee stands in the ring, the atmosphere in Lumpini Stadium shifts from anticipation to open mockery. Laughter ripples through the crowd, bouncing off the wooden rafters and echoing beneath the harsh lights. Some spectators nudge each other, grinning at the absurdity of the scene. A small, unassuming man in street clothes facing Thailand's most feared champion. Jokes in Thai and English swirl through the air, some good-natured, others biting. He's going to get flattened. Maybe he's lost? This is going to be quick. The journalists in the front row are electrified. Notepads fly open, cameras click, and pens scratch furiously as they prepare to capture what they expect will be a spectacle. An undefeated female champion dismantling a hapless volunteer. For them, the story is irresistible. East meets West, woman versus man, legend versus nobody. The headlines write themselves, and the promise of a viral moment hangs heavy in the air. The promoter, sweating through his suit, glances nervously between Nong Mai and Bruce. He leans in, whispering to Nong Mai in Thai. "Are you sure? He looks so small, so weak. This might not be a good demonstration." Nong Mai shrugs, her face unreadable. She is determined to prove herself, to silence the doubters once and for all. The promoter sighs, switching to English for the benefit of the Western audience. "Ladies and gentlemen, our volunteer. Please, sir, come into the ring." As Bruce steps forward, the gender dynamics become impossible to ignore. Some in the crowd are eager to see a woman defeat a man, to watch tradition turned on its head. Others are skeptical, clinging to old beliefs about strength and superiority. The tension is palpable, a collision of cultures and expectations. Yet beneath the laughter and bravado, a subtle unease creeps in. There is something different about the way Bruce moves, an ease, a quiet confidence that doesn't match his appearance. A few sharp-eyed spectators notice, their amusement fading into curiosity. The crowd, so certain of the outcome just moments before, now finds itself holding its breath, caught between ridicule and the faintest whisper of doubt. The bell hasn't rung, but already the night feels charged with possibility. Something's about to happen. Something no one in Lumpini Stadium will ever forget. The referee, a weathered man with a face carved by decades of fights, calls both competitors to the center of the ring. The crowd's laughter fades into a hush, replaced by the low hum of anticipation. Nong Mai stands tall, her red silk shorts gleaming under the lights, Mongkon headband tight around her brow. Bruce Lee, in dark slacks and a simple button-up shirt, looks almost out of place, until you notice the stillness in his eyes, the way he seems to absorb the energy of the arena without being moved by it. The referee explains the rules in Thai, then in halting English for Bruce. Light contact. Demonstration only. No knockout. No break. Show technique, not power. Understand? Both fighters nod. They touch gloves, a gesture of respect, but also a silent agreement that what happens next will be watched, judged, and remembered. They return to their corners. Nong Mai bounces on her toes, rolling her shoulders, eyes locked on her opponent. She's fought 70 times, faced every style, every trick, every kind of fighter. But this is different. There's no tape to study, no reputation to fear. Just a man who seems to carry no tension, no bravado, no fear. The bell rings. Nong Mai moves first, advancing with the classic Muay Thai stance. Weight on the back leg, hands high, elbows tucked, ready to check kicks and counter. She feints a jab, testing the waters. Bruce doesn't react, just watches, his body loose, his breathing steady. She throws a real jab, fast and sharp. Bruce tilts his head, the punch missing by inches. The crowd murmurs, maybe luck, maybe nerves. She follows with a combination. Jab, cross, low kick. Standard Muay Thai sequence, drilled 1,000 times. But Bruce isn't there when the punches arrive. He's moved just enough, no wasted motion. The kick slices air. Nong Mai resets, narrowing her eyes. This man moves differently. No traditional footwork, no boxing rhythm. Something else. Fluid. Adaptive. She increases the pressure, launching a knee aimed at his midsection. Bruce's hand drops, meeting the knee, redirecting it with a gentle touch that robs it of power. Nong Mai feels it instantly. That wasn't a block. That was control. She's never felt that before. She attacks again, this time with an elbow, one of Muay Thai's most dangerous weapons. Bruce slips inside, too close for her to strike effectively. His hand touches her shoulder, light and respectful, then he's gone, back to distance. The crowd is silent now, and the earlier laughter replaced by a growing sense of disbelief. Nong Mai's face flushes with determination. She throws her best technique, a jumping knee, the move that's won her 20 fights. She explodes forward, covering distance in a blink. Bruce sees it coming, steps offline, his hand guiding her knee as it passes, leaving her off balance for a split second. He could have swept her, could have countered, but he does nothing. Just resets, waits. Slow motion moments stretch the tension. The audience sees sweat bead on Nong Mai's brow, the flicker of frustration in her eyes, the calm in Bruce's. Every movement is magnified, the snap of a kick, the whisper of feet on canvas, the sharp exhale of breath. The contrast is stark. Nong Mai's aggression, honed by years of war in the ring, against Bruce's effortless evasion, a dance of minimalism and mastery. Nong Mai attacks again and again, each technique met not with force, but with redirection, with absence, with the kind of control that makes violence unnecessary. Bruce never blocks, never meets power with power. He simply isn't where the strikes are meant to land. The crowd, once so sure of the outcome, now sits in stunned silence, watching as their champion is made to look ordinary by a man they had dismissed as a nobody. For Bruce, there is no triumph in this, only demonstration, only the art, the philosophy, the lesson. He moves like water, adapting, flowing, never resisting. Nong Mai, for all her strength and skill, finds herself chasing shadows, her confidence tested in ways she's never known. As the round nears its end, both fighters stand in the center of the ring, breathing hard. The referee watches closely, aware that something extraordinary is unfolding. The crowd leans forward, eyes wide, hearts pounding. In this moment, the ring is no longer just a stage for combat. It is a crucible where tradition and innovation, pride and humility collide. And everyone in Lumpini Stadium knows they are witnessing history. The rhythm of the ring changes. Nong Mai, who has always dictated the pace, now finds herself reacting, recalibrating, searching for a way in. She circles Bruce, sweat glistening on her brow, her breathing measured but heavier than before. She throws a feint, then a real jab, then a low kick, each technique sharper, faster, more desperate. But Bruce is never where she expects him to be. He glides just out of reach, his feet barely making a sound on the canvas, his eyes calm and unblinking. The crowd, once so eager for a spectacle, grows quiet. The laughter has vanished, replaced by a hush that feels almost reverent. Even the gamblers and journalists sense the shift. They lean forward, notebooks forgotten, cameras lowered, as if afraid to miss a single movement. The energy in Lumpini Stadium is electric, charged with the realization that something rare is unfolding, a display of mastery that transcends the usual boundaries of sport. Nong Mai attacks with a flurry, jab, cross, elbow, knee. Bruce doesn't block. He doesn't counter. He simply isn't there. He slips inside the elbow, lets the knee pass by, redirects the force with a gentle touch. His movements are so economical, so precise, that they seem effortless. To the untrained eye, it looks like magic. To the fighters in the crowd, it is the highest form of skill, control without aggression, dominance without violence. She tries her signature move, a jumping knee, the same technique that has ended so many fights. She launches herself forward, explosive and committed. Bruce steps offline, his hand guiding her knee just enough to send her off balance. He could sweep her, could strike, but he chooses not to. Instead, he resets, giving her space, inviting her to try again. Nong Mai feels frustration rising, but also a strange sense of respect. She has never faced an opponent like this, someone who refuses to play by the usual rules, who doesn't seek to overpower or humiliate, but simply to demonstrate. She realizes in that moment that she is not just fighting a man, but facing a philosophy. Bruce's style is not about domination. It is about understanding. He reads her intentions, senses her rhythm, and adapts in real time. He is like water, shapeless, formless, impossible to grasp. Every time she commits to an attack, he is already gone, already flowing around her strength. It is not evasion out of fear, but out of mastery. He is teaching her, and everyone watching, the true power lies in adaptability, in the ability to yield and redirect rather than resist. The crowd is transfixed. The earlier jeers have turned to awe. Even the old trainers who doubted the value of this demonstration now watch with grudging admiration. They see in Bruce a level of skill that is rare, a kind of martial wisdom that cannot be faked or forced. Nong Mai attacks again, this time with everything she has. A spinning elbow, a low kick, a clinch attempt. Bruce moves through it all, never meeting force with force, always guiding, always redirecting. At one point, he steps inside her guard, his hand stopping just an inch from her throat. He holds it there, perfectly controlled, then steps back, bowing his head in respect. The referee, sensing the significance, blows the whistle. The round is over. Nong Mai stands in the center of the ring, chest heaving, sweat pouring down her face. She looks at Bruce, and for the first time in her career, she feels humbled, not by defeat, but by the realization that there is a level beyond strength, beyond technique. She bows deeply, acknowledging not just a superior fighter, but a true master. The crowd erupts, not in laughter, but in applause. They have witnessed something extraordinary, something that will be talked about for years to come. Bruce Lee, the random volunteer, has shown them that martial arts is not just about winning or losing, but about understanding, respect, and the endless pursuit of mastery. The final seconds of the demonstration unfold in a silence so deep it feels sacred. Nong Mai, battered not by blows but by the realization of her own limits, gathers herself for one last attempt. She launches forward, every muscle straining, every ounce of her champion's will poured into a flying knee. Her signature, her pride, the move that has ended so many dreams. But Bruce Lee does not evade. Instead, he steps in, closing the distance, his left hand gently controlling her knee, his right hand rising, stopping just an inch from her throat. Time seems to freeze. The crowd, 3,000 strong, holds its collective breath. In that suspended moment, Bruce could have finished it. He could have swept her, struck her, ended her undefeated streak in front of her people. But he doesn't. He simply holds his hand there, perfectly controlled, a silent message that he has nothing to prove. The referee, recognizing the meaning, blows the whistle. The demonstration is over. Bruce releases his gentle hold and steps back, bowing deeply. Nong Mai stands motionless, chest heaving, sweat streaming down her face. She looks at Bruce, her eyes wide with a mix of frustration, relief, and dawning respect. For the first time in her career, she has not been beaten, but she has been outmatched. She bows in return, lower and longer than tradition requires, honoring not just a fighter but a teacher. The crowd is slow to react. For a heartbeat, confusion lingers. Was this mercy or was it dominance? Then, as understanding spreads, applause begins to ripple through the stadium. It grows, swelling into a genuine ovation. The cheers are not for victory or defeat, but for the display of skill, restraint, and respect. Even the skeptics and gamblers find themselves clapping, moved by what they have witnessed. Nong Mai approaches Bruce, her pride transformed into gratitude. She extends her hand and he takes it. Their handshake a symbol of mutual respect. In that moment, the boundaries of gender, tradition, and ego dissolve. Two warriors stand as equals, united by the art they both serve. For Bruce, there is no triumph in humiliation, only satisfaction in having demonstrated the true spirit of martial arts. For Nong Mai, there is no shame in being shown a new level of mastery, only the inspiration to grow. The emotional impact lingers in the air, a lesson etched into the memory of everyone present. Sometimes, the greatest victory is the one you choose not to take. As the applause fades, the energy in Lumpini Stadium shifts from spectacle to reverence. The crowd, once eager for a knockout, now stands in quiet awe, processing what they have witnessed. Nong Mai and Bruce Lee remain in the ring, the tension between them transformed into mutual respect. The champion, undefeated in 70 fights, bows again, this time with a smile that acknowledges not defeat, but enlightenment. Bruce returns the gesture, his humility as evident as his skill. The promoter, still clutching the microphone, hesitates before speaking. His words are simple, but his tone has changed. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we saw two different styles, two different spirits. Thank you to both fighters for showing us what martial arts can be. The applause that follows is softer but more sincere, a recognition that something important has happened, even if not everyone can name it. As Bruce leaves the ring, whispers ripple through the crowd. Who was that man? What style was that? Some spectators are still confused, others inspired. A few young fighters, eyes wide with admiration, push through the dispersing audience to catch a glimpse of Bruce. Among them is a group of Thai students, their gym jackets damp with sweat, who bow deeply and ask in halting English, "Master, can you teach us?" Bruce smiles, sensing their genuine curiosity. "I'm only in Bangkok for a few days," he replies. "But tomorrow, if you want, I can show you some principles. Not a full lesson, just an introduction." The students accept eagerly, exchanging information and promising to meet at a local gym the next morning. That night, as the city's neon lights flicker outside his hotel window, Bruce reflects on the demonstration. Dan Inosanto, his friend and companion, sits nearby, still processing the events. "You could have finished her," Dan says quietly. Bruce shakes his head. "That wasn't the lesson. Martial arts isn't about proving you're better. It's about understanding, about respect. She's a true champion. I wanted her to see that mastery isn't just about winning." The next day, 20 Thai fighters gather at the appointed gym, their anticipation palpable. Bruce arrives early, dressed simply, carrying no ego, only a desire to share. He begins by demonstrating Wing Chun principles, then transitions to the philosophy of Jeet Kune Do. He shows them that style is less important than adaptability, that effectiveness comes from understanding, not imitation. He moves among the students, correcting stances, offering encouragement, and answering questions with patience and clarity. The young fighters are captivated. They see in Bruce a teacher who embodies the spirit of martial arts, not just in technique, but in attitude. He emphasizes that being like water, flexible, open, and ever-adapting, is the key to true mastery. For many, it is a revelation. The seeds of change are planted, and over the years, some of these students will go on to become respected trainers themselves, passing on the lessons they learned from the man who came to Bangkok and changed everything. Nong Mai, too, is changed. She continues her career, winning 15 more fights and retiring undefeated, but she never forgets the night she met Bruce Lee. As a trainer, she tells her students about the demonstration, about the importance of humility, and about the day she learned that real strength is measured not by how many you defeat, but by how much you grow. The story spreads throughout Southeast Asia, growing in legend and meaning. Some embellish the details, but those who were there remember the truth. A night when respect triumphed over ego, and martial arts became more than just a contest. It became a philosophy, a way of life. In the end, the story of that night in Bangkok is not about victory or defeat, but about the deeper truths that live at the heart of martial arts. Mastery is not measured by the number of opponents you conquer, but by your ability to understand, adapt, and show respect, even when you hold the power to dominate. Bruce Lee's demonstration was more than a display of skill. It was a lesson in humility, restraint, and the courage to choose mercy over ego. For Nong Mai, the undefeated champion, the encounter became a turning point. She learned that true greatness is not threatened by challenge, but strengthened by it. For the young fighters who watched and trained with Bruce the next day, the lesson was clear. Real progress comes not from clinging to tradition or reputation, but from opening yourself to new ideas, new techniques, and new ways of thinking. The seeds planted that night would grow into a new generation of martial artists, fighters who valued wisdom as much as strength and respect as much as victory. And for everyone in the crowd, and for all of us hearing the story now, the message endures. The greatest battles are not fought in the ring, but within ourselves. The real opponent is our own pride, our own fear, our own unwillingness to learn. When we let go of the need to prove ourselves, we make room for true growth. So as you finish this story, ask yourself, where in your life are you holding back out of fear or pride? What could you achieve if you approached your challenges with the humility and openness of a true martial artist? Don't let this lesson pass you by. The next time you face the unknown, remember Bruce Lee's example. Be like water, adapt, and let respect guide your actions. If you found inspiration in this story, subscribe for more untold legends and share your own journey in the comments below. The next chapter of greatness could begin with you.